Let's go to this story because, okay, so this is a story where DueDissidence was far ahead of the curve. And I mean far, 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 far ahead of the curve. Not only did I mention this on a stream that I did with, it was Tusker and Colin Radix Carter, who co-hosted when Russell was on his last vacation, his previous vacation, right? I have to keep track of all these vacations that Russell takes. But the last time Russell missed time because he was on vacation, we co-hosted a show with Tusker and Colin where we talked about Starbucks union busting and the need for a boycott. And then Russell Dobular decided, since he used to drink the Starbucks French roast at home, that he would do his part to boycott Starbucks by creating a Boycott Starbucks Dissident sweepstakes where you, all our lovely audience in the chat, recommended him alternate coffee brands. And so we had that, and that went well. And now Russell is on San Francisco Bay Coffee, not Starbucks. Although when he gets back from Italy, he's not going to be able to drink the San Francisco Bay stuff either because he's having great coffee over there now. So that's one of the things. He's going to have to do another coffee drive to find something that comes close to the quality of coffee he's drinking over in Italy now. All right. So anyway, we've been talking about a Starbucks boycott for a long time. And now here's a headline. Finally, in The Guardian, calls for Starbucks boycott grow amid aggressive union busting activities. Calls for a consumer boycott of Starbucks are growing amid mounting criticisms of the coffee chain's aggressive union-busting activities. A boycott, supporters say, would aim to use consumer power to pressure Starbucks to stop its union-busting and illegal actions and to finally negotiate its first union contract. The Baristas Union, Starbucks Workers United, is having internal discussions about when and whether to mount a boycott. At the moment, in addition to organizing stores, it is focused on increasing consumer support. Calls for a Starbucks boycott increased after Cornell University, facing intense student pressure, announced in August that it would kick the company off campus by no longer serving Starbucks in its dining halls. That came after students occupied Cornell's main administrative building and after Starbucks closed all 3 of its stores in Ithaca, New York. All 3 were unionized, making Ithaca the first American city where every Starbucks was unionized. So what did I say in the previous segment with Tim Gerner? I said all these gains around the margins, whether it's at the NLRB or with union efforts like Starbucks, at a certain point, the ultimate showdown between labor and capital is coming no matter what, because as you see here, how does Starbucks react to the fact that all 3 shops in town are union shops? They close the shops. All right? They're not allowed to do that, apparently, but go get your fucking shine box when you got Starbucks money, right? When we heard that Starbucks was closing all the stores, we asked, what can we do, said Nick Wilson, a Cornell sophomore and leader of the effort to oust Starbucks. We thought if Starbucks is going to get out of Ithaca, we should get them all the way out. They shouldn't be profiting off our campus and our community. Amen. Wilson said students from nearly 30 colleges had contacted him about launching efforts to kick Starbucks off their campuses. If the Starbucks union launches a consumer boycott, Wilson said, young people would certainly be in favor. Young people's support for unions is second nature at this point. Students at the University of Washington and across the University of California system have also called for ousting Starbucks from campus. Starbucks union members say they know of such efforts at a dozen other campuses. More than 350 Starbucks have been unionized. This is later on in the article. The first one's 21 months ago, but Starbucks hasn't reached a contract with even one of them. They have not ratified a contract, yes, with a single union shop. The U.S. labor law watchdog, the National Labor Relations Board, has filed 100 complaints against Starbucks, an extraordinarily high number that accuse it of more than 1,000 illegal actions, including illegally firing dozens of pro-union baristas, closing recently unionized stores, and not bargaining in good faith. Asked to comment about a possible boycott, Starbucks officials declined, but they insisted that the company was bargaining in good faith. Quote, Starbucks has approached bargaining with the consistency and an earnest desire to progress negotiations for partners at every single store represented by a union, said Mae Jensen, Starbucks Senior Vice President of Partner Resources. Starbucks calls its workers partners. Yeah. Jensen repeated Starbucks' assertion that the union had not made any effort to bargain for more than 250 stores, although the NLRB has repeatedly accused Starbucks, not the union, of refusing to bargain. Well, obviously, why join a union if you're going to refuse to bargain? Makes no sense on the face of it. It's just totally absurd. But it's good to see that the boycott effort is at least starting to get underway because, look, if we could afford to, we would call for Amazon boycotts, right? But if we're being really honest here, Amazon has us by the balls. It's really difficult for working class people to boycott Amazon because you get stuff so much cheaper at Amazon than you can anywhere else. Coffee, we can all drink other coffee, right? Like Starbucks does not have a monopoly on coffee, and Starbucks is some of the least affordable coffee on the market. So that's why I have here, and this is actually a coincidence because we ran out of coffee in my house because I've been running around all week. I have my Dunkin' Donuts coffee this morning. Ran out before the show and had to grab it. But Starbucks is a company that we can all afford to boycott. It can be easily done. There's coffee everywhere. You can make coffee at home. There's Dunkin' Donuts. There's Tim Hortons. There's McDonald's has pretty good coffee if you want to, or, if you want to go to the, organic fair trade co-op, if you live in Brooklyn or something, go there, buy that coffee. There's no reason why we have to buy Starbucks coffee. So a Starbucks boycott makes total sense. And we should all be doing it. We should all be encouraging it because clearly the union drives are not enough since the unions aren't getting contracts. And Starbucks, apparently, according to this article here, can violate 1,000 labor laws or 1,000 violations of existing labor laws. I don't see anybody paying a price for it. What do I see? I see articles written in outlets like this about how they ought not do it. I think we can do a little better than that, if the right wing can boycott Target because of the dick-tucking pajamas or whatever the fuck it is, then I think we can boycott Starbucks for their anti-union practices, right? So I think we should get on that. And I was very encouraged to see that because it's something like, hey, we thought of that a while ago. Good to see the message catching on.
Please clap.